The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What you listening to, man? What they talking about? I got my hand up on that knob, trying to figure out. It doesn't matter who's the guest or what's the subject, cause they keep it 100 and them callers love it. The radio show got you tuned in, ready for action like a bad chick texting what's happening. They ain't here giving 5 o'clock news. Our hosts keep it blunt, sharing their point of views. They going in, man, cause they ain't got no filter. Cause they keep it 100, that's why we messing with you. Got you up to date with the latest with music and what's trending, that's basics. On primetime hours, you can never go wrong. And get night music and what's going on in your neck of the woods, like, hey, Al Roco on today, like, feeling entertained with the radio show. Tuesday, Thursday, taking over, let them know. Let them telephone rings, yeah, I'm on this thing.
All right, these bring a friend nights just, keep getting better and better. We got friends in here. So we got my man Chris on the Geaux Podcast. Got Big Debo, My Black Friend Podcast. Zino, ZZ Talk Podcast. And my homegirl, Caral J, Lady CJ, the Caral J Podcast hanging out. It's just friends all over the place. What's up, folks? How y'all doing?
What's up with it, y'all? How y'all doing?
How's it going?
This was menu season. I'm
trying to fix my camera.
I love the raw stuff. Zeno trying to get his camera together. It's all good though. It's all good. All right. So the last time the show as we had it had convened, didn't realize that all this stuff was going to happen in a matter of a week. So we got let's say a board of issues that we could talk about. So I'm gonna name them off, and I guess we could just do the majority of who wants to talk about what. So let's see. We got Killer Mike winning several Grammys and then getting arrested. We got, and I'm really pissed off about this, we got to talk about the rap category not even being televised on the Grammys. All right. Jay-Z, he's speaking on, Beyonce not being nominated and other issues that's going on with the Grammys. And maybe this is something we can get into later. I don't know. But Brock Lesnar looked like he on his way to getting canceled right out of WWE altogether. So we got a whole list of stuff here to start with. This is a democracy, not a dictatorship, so we can take this wherever. What do y'all feel like is the thing that we should probably dive into? They all have great, it's all something that could be talked about at length, but what does the panel say?
Well, I'm from Atlanta, so my bias.
Grammys.
Yeah, Grammys.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, we got the Atlanta-based show. I mean, why not talk about the Grammy Award winner Killer Mike?
That's right.
Atlanta's own.
Well, that just about settles it then. We're going to start off the show talking about Killer Mike. All right.
And this is coming from the Louisiana guy. Just putting that out.
Yes. It's all good. We should, radio show ATL, I'm a Louisiana guy too, so
man, look, Atlanta and Louisiana ain't nothing but cousins. That's all it is.
No, the fuck we ain't. Don't ever say that.
Nigga, we ain't nothing but cousins. Whether you like
I
it or
will
not.
never be cousins with no fucking swamp ass niggas. Are you crazy?
Hey, look,
He's the other side of Atlanta.
So, all right, so we said we was gonna start with Killer Mike, so let's start with that. So it leads into a couple things. So the Grammys, that's the big thing in music, where if you get one of those, that's the stamp put on your career and everything. So Killer Mike has his album Michael. He just sweeps the rap categories, man. Best rap album. He just racks up 3 of them all in one night. This is like the crowning achievement of his career.
That man deserved that too.
And the only video that we get from it, because they didn't televise the rap category, we'll get to that later, is showing Killer Mike being walked out in his suit in handcuffs. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, we're gonna start with ladies first on this one. Caral J. Okay, what's going on?
It's a lot of emotions and how I feel about that. Because you know, they look at rappers as, I don't know, they look down on them anyway, and I feel like it wasn't necessary to capture that moment on camera. Nobody needed to see that. It was not necessary. This black man is in handcuffs. Like, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. I can't.
I found it fucked up too. Like, this man is celebrating the height of his career.
Right.
A Grammy he's so long for. He stayed down for, stayed loyal to his craft for, you know, and just to see that afterwards, for one, we didn't even get to see him live to celebrate that at one. And it's crazy that I even said it like that, because I might have sent this to us in the group chat, Debo in 16, but I literally found out on Instagram, not even realized the Grammys was going on at the time. I was like, where has the promotion been about this? Or like, how am I finding out on Instagram about this and not even seeing this in live? Like, and I was like, it bothered me a little bit, because I'm like, man, they really just trying to put us on a back burner. Like,
yep.
You steal a culture from us. You see the cultures everywhere, right? You steal that for us, but when it's our moments, us who's really part of the culture don't even get to see those moments or get to live within those moments in present time, right? We always got to hear about it on the social medias after the fact, or if we're hearing about it in present time, like Killer Mike, it's always the negative parts about it. We can't celebrate the positive moments about it. It's just bullshit. Like, I found I hate that for that man, because he was just in a joyous moment. If you seen his speech, you can just see how proud he was, how happy he was for himself and celebrating his achievements. And then that clip of him getting arrested surfaced, just completely put his joyous moments on the back burner. I was like, man, come on, man, that just fucked up that man moment like that.
Well, I mean, if we just really take a kind of, don't look at the micro, but kind of like zooming out, in the past like few years, we've seen this a lot happen with black men, right? Look at Will Smith. Now I know that was self-imposed, and I guess this could be self-imposed, because I still don't know what happened with Killer Mike and why they locked him up. But I mean, we saw Will Smith literally the night of his life, where it's like you said, a crowning achievement for him. And then it kind of gets boiled down to a nigga moment where, you know, he slaps Chris Rock on stage right before he gets, you know, the award that he's been waiting for his entire career. I just think it's kind of an agenda, especially considering like last year was like the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So like they wanted to use it in the show at that point. And now fast forward a year, they don't even televise who getting the awards. It's kind of crazy, but it seems like it's real planned. I'm not saying Killer Mike get locked up. I don't even know why he got locked up is the planned part, but it definitely seems premeditated, where they waited for somebody of color to fuck up. We're going to film that. We're going to put that out. We're going to show you that video, but we're not going to show you the video of him doing what he's supposed to do and him getting recognized for his greatness. Because like you said, Killer Mike been in the game a long time and hasn't been recognized for how really good he truly is. And I just think, just as a Killer Mike fan, I think this is real fucked up. At the same time, there's no real information as to what happened. And that's my problem. Like, is this a nothingness moment where they just detained him for no reason, but you gonna show him getting carried away in the fucking handcuffs, but then you immediately let him go? Like, that's kind of the fucked up part to me, because there's been a surprising lack of information in regards to it. Because remember, after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, there was like tons of like think pieces and articles about it, right? Oh, this is the reasoning. Chris Rock has been messing with Jada forever, and you know, Will and Jada never had it. Like, it was a whole shit ton of fucking like information, and it's the lack of information now. I just feel like this. It just feels like it's not. It was put together. It feels like it's a real created narrative, and I don't fuck with it. But then again, I don't fuck with the Grammys anyway.
You said it felt like it was put together. Zino, man, I know you want to hop in. I know you got some thoughts on this, man. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, I had to run downstairs to get hardwired because I wanted to make sure they came across clearly.
There we go.
First thing, I don't want us to conflate this with the Will Smith thing. I feel like Will Smith, he started to believe his own hype, because after 30 years of being the NBC boy with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and then being the blockbuster guy, he sort of forgot that at the end of the day you're still black. So if you slip up, you're gonna be brought down, right? You can't just be going on stage and slapping Chris Rock. So I won't conflate what happened with Killer Mike with this. Killer Mike, I think he has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because he's very outspoken about his beliefs. He's a very outspoken supporter of Bernie Sanders. He was just on Bill Maher on Friday, 2 days before the Grammys. It wouldn't surprise me at all if someone was like, let's knock this guy down a peg. He actually did talk about it a couple of days later, saying it was like an overzealous security guard or whatever. Probably just a guy who's like, oh, here's this black guy, let me say whatever to him. And he was, I didn't see the interaction. I imagine, just from everything I know about Killer Mike, he was probably right to stand his ground. On the matter of the Grammys not televising the rap categories, this always happens. Like you mentioned, Debo, they showed it last year because it was the 50th anniversary. But in general, it's always the pre-show. Drake, his crowning achievement was winning best rap album for Take Care, and that wasn't televised. And it seems like year after year, they always, all these rappers always say that the Grammys are disrespecting the craft and all that stuff by making it not even prime time. When you consider the fact that hip hop is the biggest musical export of the US, maybe some other pop categories, but really hip hop. If you look at K-pop, all the dancing and all that stuff is very hip hop inspired. If you look at kids growing up in Africa, they're rapping along lyric for lyric without knowing what it means to hip hop songs. So it's the biggest export. Yet when it comes to Grammy night, even though that's what's moving numbers, that's what's keeping the music industry afloat, it doesn't get primetime viewership, which actually ties into Jay-Z's speech later on, which I love how articles took out the one part he said about Beyonce not winning Album of the Year and saying, oh, he's targeting Taylor Swift, when he really wasn't. They took out that one part and didn't focus on the whole thing he was trying to say, which is that we just want you guys to get it right. DMX had 2 number 1 albums in the same year and did not get a Grammy nomination.
Not one.
Not one.
And to that point, not to cut you off, Z, but no other hip hop artist has never done that since.
Yeah. Will Smith was the first, first person to win for best rap song or whatever. Him and Jazzy Jeff, and he boycotted the Grammys because he found out that his category was going to be in the pre-show. So it's like it's a constant thing that's been going on, and they haven't corrected it. And one of they're just constantly egregious. Like, remember 2013 or 2014 when Macklemore won Best Rap Album over What's the Form, over Nothing Was the Same, over Good Kid, Mad City. That category was stacked, and Macklemore won. So it's constant with it, and that's what Jay-Z was trying to talk about. And it ties in so well with Killer Mike's moment being before prime time, but everyone sees him being walked out and being, handcuffed or whatever. So anyway, thoughts.
Yeah, it's the point about it probably that disappointed me the most was that, now we could say this is that everybody has their own opinion about what they feel like hip hop music is. I feel like it's down right now. And if it probably was a time to kick hip hop, now is probably the time to do it. But that's still no excuse to not televise, a genre that has helped shape these other genres. Because everybody borrows from hip hop. Zino just said it. Everybody borrows from that genre, from top to bottom. Chris, you said that before many times on here too. It's like they borrow from that. But the part that a moment like that for somebody like Killer Mike, wasn't televised, or whoever would have won is not televised. It's just a travesty. And I feel like if people really want to get something out of the Grammys, either they stop showing up and adding credibility to the award show, or shut up about it. It's like one or the other. Like it can't be both ways.
Didn't Kanye say that?
They called him crazy.
I mean, I know 16 don't want to acknowledge the shit, but Kanye literally said this shit 10 years ago, and everybody said, "Oh, you." Now it might have been the way he delivered it was fucked up. I agree, but sometimes you got to be fucked up to get your point across.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes motherfuckers don't understand civilized. Sometimes you gotta let a little bit of the uncivilized come out. So I understand that part, but I guess what I'm getting at is that it doesn't seem like anything's gonna change with that. Because see, y'all educated me, because see, this show, man, I watch more of the Grammys than Zino, you've been on here before after the Grammys, man. We the hip hop show that don't be watching award shows. But I had no idea. I was just like Chris. I found out Killer Mike won through social media. I'm like, but the Grammys, like, it just came on. How did he win an award? Because they didn't show it on TV.
My whole point, bro. My whole point. We saw, at least when Grammys would be televised, I'm used to it coming on at like 7:00 Central Time, right? So I'm thinking, oh, Grammys about to start at 7:00. I'm waiting till 7:00 to see this the Grammys come on. Bro, Grammys hadn't been on a whole hour and a half already. I'm like, what the hell going on, bro?
Now, to Zeno's point, there's in any award, like the Academy Awards and the what's the one for the Tonys and stuff like that. They have tons of like awards that are shown on the pre-show that are not shown on the actual primetime episode. Like a lot of that stuff, when you see the people doing the red carpet, they're already getting awards in there. People are already getting awards and winning and stuff. But those are very much for like minor categories, like
bro,
that's
talking about
in a movie or some shit like that. But like rap and hip hop, I feel like is a big enough genre that it should warrant at least 5 minutes. At least if you're not gonna do all the album, if you're not gonna do song of the year, at least do album of the year. Album of the year should definitely get some type of like footage.
That's the biggest point. The fact that it's relegated to the pre-show, despite being one of the biggest genre, I would say probably the biggest genre in music this day. Like, if you guys have kids or whatever, well, this doesn't quite count because we're all black. But like, if you look at like white kids in school, the songs that they sing along to are rap songs. The ones that they have filling up their playlist are rap songs. So the idea that the ones that get the most streams get relegated to pre-show still it's mind-boggling to me. God,
they got a whole album of kids songs that are hip hop songs that they made kidified. What is that? What was the album called?
Kids Bop.
Kids Bop.
Kids Bop. Thank you. Kids Bop a thing. It's a whole thing.
Not too much on Kids Bop. Wait,
because they sure had a Hey Ya version on that Kids Bop. It's still stuck in my head.
Sorry, Miss Jackson kid version is crazy to me.
And it's crazy too. Like to the point, like when you look at artists like Travis Scott, who threw a little shot in his performance, like, but when you look at his shows, who's selling out his tickets the most? Who's buying his tickets the most? Who's buying his merch the most? Who's selling out and buying his shoes the most? You know what I mean?
White kids. Sorry.
You did what I'm saying? So it's like to say hip hop culture doesn't influence majority of this music entertainment world, to throw that on the back burner like that, it's like y'all really trying to discredit. Like y'all really trying to put it in our face. Like, hold on. No, we're not gonna let y'all have this moment. No.
But aren't we used to that? Because come on,
we keep going back to the Grammys. We must be
right, and we
keep going back. That's not my only point.
Well, something about going back to the Grammys. So there was an interview with Eminem like 2 or 3 years ago. He was like explaining why he doesn't go to the Grammys. So he was saying he doesn't go to the Grammys mostly because of how it's relegated to like minor status. But what they'll do is every now and then they'll like give you, like if you're nominated, they'll give you like a call, kind of suggesting that you might be winning, because they want you to show up, because it adds to the gravitas of the show if you're there. So they want you to show up, and then when they announce the winner, it's some rando, and then you just the camera pans to you for your reaction shot, and you're just there looking like, what the hell? Like, some bummy thing. And there was another interview I read from the president of the Recording Academy, not the current one, but the previous one, when he was saying, because they were scrutinizing the Grammys processes or whatever, he was saying that the music is listened to by a group of music experts from the US for its content. Depending on the category, if it's record of the year, then it's for the musicality. If it's song of the year, it's for songwriting, whatever the case may be. But it's for its content. And that really bugged me, because part of the reason why we see like the hip hop winners, which by the way, I'm happy Killer Mike won. My brother swears by that album. But we see some of the winners some of the years, and we're like, really? That person won? And the reason we think that way is because when we go into these songs, we have context. We know things that happened that led up to the song. We know what the song's about. It's lived experience. You can't just give it to someone who doesn't have context and say, hey, just go and grade this on the content and give us. And it's the same thing with the international categories, best international music. And I mean, obviously I'm Nigerian, so I have a bias, and I think the 4 Nigerian artists that were nominated, one of them should have won, but then it went to Tyler, the South African chick. Really nice song, Water, but it won because it's like TikTok viral. But the other 4 songs I think were also really good. But if you're going into it without context, how are you gonna pick the right thing? And I feel like the people who vote on the rap category, like in the year when Macklemore won, don't actually listen to rap and don't actually understand what Good Kid, Mad City is about.
That's the question. Who are they giving these songs to, or these albums to grade on their grading scale in regards to the musicality of it? Like, it's basically the same way that Billboard came out with that top 50 rappers list. It's like they put a bunch of randoms in a room and said, hey, here's a list of artists, come up with 50, the top 50. And they just start picking it,
Debo. Because if you look at Killer Mike's album, if you look at Michael, it wasn't even it was like a top 50 album. Like, it never reached number 1. It never even reached the top 10 at all. So this was probably just based on the fact of looking at the quality of what was put out versus how much it sold. That Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, you could never explain that to me, because that'll just never make sense.
Well, the Killer Mike one is a broken clock is right twice a day. Yeah, but it's still a broken clock. Because
the whole thing was crazy. I just didn't expect all these things to drop in from this show. And then the other part of it was, what Jay-Z got up and spoke about, with Jay-Z getting I don't remember the exact terminology of the Dr. Dre Award. I don't know. Zino, you be good at this, man. Do you remember what the name of the award was?
Yeah, it's not the humanitarian award. It's like a something impact award.
The Dr. Dre Impact Award.
Yeah, let me see the full name, but I know impact was in the name.
Wasn't it the Dr. Dre Impact Award?
Global Impact Award. Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. Yeah.
All right, because I didn't quite know what the name of it was, so appreciate that. That Jay-Z got up and spoke about some of the stuff that we're talking about right now, where about the genre of hip hop being disrespected, Black artists not really fully being given their just due, and things like that. Now, I'm gonna tell you, it took my wife to straighten me out on what he was talking about, because immediately I was going to, well, why is Jay-Z speaking up about, Beyonce has won the most Grammys. We talked about, I think she's 32 Grammys, but she's never won Album of the Year. And my thing is that, dang, this is almost about timing. My first thing I said to her was, this was about timing. And she's like, what are you talking about? I mean, I'm probably in the minority. I know how you feel about her, Debo, but I thought Renaissance is the weakest of her releases. Like, at the time when you're talking about her not being nominated, Renaissance is probably her at her least creative. I know that's not going to go over well with the Beehive, but Renaissance isn't that strong. And
it's mid.
of course,
You right. You can say it. You say what you says. It's mid. It's
yeah.
And somebody who don't like Beyonce, it's definitely her weakest album because she does have some banging albums. I can't hold you. She got some good albums.
There's no other way to put it. She does. And certain ones that you put on, that was the first one that I had put on where I struggled to get through it. And my wife's like, well, you know, I loved it. I was like, well, it's for you, but I'm just saying in general, it just didn't do anything for me. But she got me back around to what he was saying about how he's basically being there for his queen and, you know, speaking on behalf of, like, you know, the black artists and everything and stuff like that. So I guess the point I'm getting to is that with Jay-Z, with what he was talking about, where similar to the conversation that we're having, what can somebody like him do who has a voice of command in music? If he can't help it make change, who can help, you know, shine some light on these excellent black artists who get no love from the biggest award you can get in music? Who can do it?
Well, us, but we'd have to start showing up for us.
True. Yeah, I don't know if the goal should be to fix the Grammys for black artists. The goal maybe should be to elevate the awards that are highlighting black artists. The BET Awards.
BET Awards, man.
Jay-Z. Beyonce and Jay-Z kind of look at the BET Awards as less than.
And that's the problem.
I'm the rapper with the most Grammy awards, tied with Kanye. Oh, I'm the person with the most Grammy wins, period. Why would I be attending the BET Awards when the BET is just black folks and this is everyone? But the thing is, maybe you gotta elevate just the black folks. You gotta make them realize that, look, if you guys keep, you know, looking down on us, we just won't show up. And then you'll find out really quickly that, oh, people actually want to hear the black folks music. That's why Elvis Presley took a lot of his style from black artists, you know, because at the end of the day, we move the culture. Simple as that.
I think it's a vicious cycle of where it starts with the consumer, right? We as black people have to support our own, right? So like we have to buy the music. Now we buy the music, but I don't think enough of us are buying the music. So then you circle back around to the artists who, like the Jay-Z's and the Kanye's and Beyonce's, who don't support these black-owned award shows. They're not showing up to accept their awards. They're not even even a Lifetime Achievement. The only time they show up is a Lifetime Achievement Award. They're not showing up to win the award of the year. They don't even film like a thank you message and send it in. They just have the person who's a presenter accept the award for them, and they get it sent in the mail. That's another problem because you don't have any star power because you feel like you're too big because it's going around to the next loop. You still seeking that validation from these white folks. You still seeking validation from the Grammys and trying to get on their good shot, and they not giving it to you. But then the Grammys saying, well, you're not selling as much as these white folks, and then it's circle back around to the consumers. So then it's just a circle of just shit where all it takes is one of those cogs to break the chain. It could be us buying more black music and supporting our own BT and Soul Train Awards and Image Awards, or it could be the biggest artists supporting those award shows too. But somebody's got to support. The point is somebody's got to support and stop seeking validation from these organizations like the Grammys and shit, like the Academy Awards. Like, why don't we have our own like film and TV show and movie awards?
We
do.
We do. They're just considered second tier.
Exactly. I didn't even know the name of them. So that's like I've never seen an advertisement for them at all.
Awards, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the thing is,
oh, my bad. Go ahead, Zino.
Sorry. I just wanted to quickly say the thing is, like we were saying about Jay-Z and all this stuff. Not good. If the biggest artists, you know, across all the different mediums, within black people, and not even just black people, Hispanics, all that stuff. If they are like, we're going to prioritize these award shows and we're going to go to those, then they'll start getting picked up by networks. The thing is, right now you can only find the NAACP Image Award on, you know,
TV One
or TV One or something like that, you know. So to get picked up,
even that brought a chuckle when you said that. It even brought a chuckle out when you said that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. CJ? He says Lady CJ in there.
Oh yeah, no, you guys were talking about that. I was thinking of Bounce TV, but I was thinking, I mean, but would you? I don't know. I wouldn't want to attend an award show where Sexy Red is. I'm sorry, don't shoot me, but I just
I wouldn't either.
I can't. They just give me stank vibes, and I feel like I'm upper echelon. But I agree with Beyonce and Jay-Z feeding into them white folks. I mean, but where's the medium? Where's the happy medium?
I mean, I remember 03, 04 BET Awards used to be like a show, bro. A show. And now to your point, like we got Sexy Red and Glorilla and not to, discredit what those ladies got going on, but like we're more the mature consumers of music, so that's not really our taste and liking, right? But even then, those women are popular. Like that can be a certain spot, a segment for the show, but we still need to honor like those bigger names, like we mentioned, like Beyonce's, the Drakes, the Weeknds. Those people need to start showing up because it's like they still gonna be crying about not getting validation from the Grammys, the Academy Awards, whatever you want to call it, the VMAs, Billboards. They keep seeking validation from those, and it's like you putting on this argument that we need to be here for our culture. Black people need to support black people, but you're not showing up when the black people are trying to honor you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the problem. I mean, that's the problem with the world. Like the richest of us don't support the rest of us, and like even though they have the wealth to help bring everybody up, they want to keep everybody down. And not saying that Beyonce didn't want to keep black people down, but by them openly choosing not to support their own award shows, it's to their detriment because now you got a situation where Jay-Z has to call out everybody on stage on behalf of his wife. And I rock with you. Protect your queen. I feel you. But then you can't be mad because you and your queen don't even show up to something where they giving you somebody. I don't care who it is. Somebody tell me they giving me an award. I'm showing the fuck up in a suit. It might be too small, but I don't give a fuck.
Stop.
I'm gonna show up, bro. With some shiny ass shoes on. You feel me?
Let me ask this. So, Carol, let me ask you this. All right. So, as being a queen, I'm sure you could appreciate Jay-Z speaking up for his woman and everything. But do you feel like it was more about him trying to spotlight the fact that he feels like she should have been, even though she's been the most decorated Grammy winner there's ever been, she's never won Album of the Year. Do you feel like it was more about him saying, hey, y'all didn't appreciate what she did and I don't like it, or more about as a whole they're not recognizing black people? Which one do you feel like it was more of?
Ooh, that's hard. But that night I felt like he wanted to show that they didn't recognize her as this, I don't want to say, the black culture, but her. Let's be honest. She's been working so hard. She's went on tour all over the world with Renaissance, and she's highly decorated. I'm personally a part of the Bayhive, so I thought she was going to win something too.
I think like this, and I don't even want to put it out there like that, but when we look at the Taylor Swift argument, Beyonce literally did the same thing. World tour, documentary, numbers. Taylor Swift might have sold more, maybe. That's numbers, right? That's numbers. Yeah. But all in all, the woman did the same thing. And we're looking at hip hop culture. Beyonce is the tier standard for her culture, right?
Yeah.
So I can see his argument being from that perspective, but it to me it felt like it was for both.
But this is the thing I was talking about timing, though, Chris, where I got into it with my wife about what she's like, what do you mean about timing? Is that this would have been a good argument for him to have when, like, maybe, well, I ain't gonna say Lemonade because Lemonade was kind of about him and her getting after his ass. But maybe another time when she dropped something that wasn't Renaissance. I kept bringing it back to the music. I get he was standing up for his queen, and I'm down with that because, any man would do that for his woman. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking about from a musical standpoint, this is probably not, in my view, and I might be wrong, and I'm sure somebody else has something to say about that. That I might be wrong about saying this about Beyonce, but I'm just saying, based on this album that did not get nominated, it probably wasn't not rightfully nominated. But I want to feel like the album was nominated for Album of the Year last year. I don't know. We'd have to fact check that, but I feel like it was nominated for something. It just didn't win because it just
about Renaissance.
Yes.
Yeah, that was last Grammys. So he wasn't talking about this Grammys at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I need the fact.
Let me say this, because I know when it comes to awards, right? Sometimes people get recognized for a piece of work that they've done, and it's immediately relevant. For instance, a perfect example: Denzel Washington was recognized for Training Day because Training Day was a great movie, right? However, at the same time, Denzel won that award based off a lifetime achievement worth of stuff. And that's how award shows work. Sometimes award shows give you, but sometimes award shows give you that award. Even though the movie was good, you've had better work to come out before that. Another perfect example, he ain't even black, Leo DiCaprio. Leo DiCaprio should have won an award for Wolf of Wall Street, for fucking Titanic, for fucking just a myriad. Django. He could have won an award for any one of those movies because he was the best actor in any one of those movies.
They gave it to him in a mid. I mean, because let's face it,
The Revenant is not that great to me.
Yeah, it's mid.
So Leo won that for The Revenant for the reasons you're saying, but I will say, even though if you're like, here's your average career who has had if you to do like a Rotten Tomatoes score, his acting level is probably top tier all the time. But I will say he was right to lose every one of them. Because when you look at each person he was put up against each time, I think he lost for Blood Diamond to Forrest Whitaker for The Last King of Scotland. Amazing performance. He lost,
he lost to Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of Wall Street. No, Gangs of New York.
Yeah. There was Django. He lost to his co-star Christoph Waltz in Django.
But I think Wolf of Wall Street, he should have won for that, hands down. That movie is incredible. He was incredible in that movie.
Yeah, he's
and amazing. I think they gave it to Daniel Day-Lewis again over him. And Daniel Day-Lewis is a fantastic actor. Don't get me wrong. But I think that might be one that Leo could have won.
One day soon, the same person who's going to explain to me why we was buying up so much toilet paper during the pandemic is going to explain to me to my face how Denzel Washington lost to Al Pacino when Denzel Washington didn't play Malcolm X. He was Malcolm X. But you give it to him for Training Day.
But because they were giving Al Pacino, if I'm correct in the year, they were giving Al Pacino the sense of a woman for the very same reason Debo is talking about. It's because it's Al Pacino, not because it's like a great performance. It's because it's like a lifetime
of good work.
It's bullshit.
Because Al Pacino didn't win for Heat, and he should have, because Heat is a fantastic movie.
He is great.
And that's why Beyonce is going to win Grammy of Best Album eventually, because they're going to look at this Jay-Z speech, they're going to look at the Lifetime and all that stuff and be like, let's give it to her. And then half of the people on the internet they're going to be like, oh, she didn't deserve it. It's only because Jay-Z spoke up. Yeah.
Well, how
and it's going to be a real mid album too. It's not even going to be a good album. It's going to be real average.
I've heard this, and again, I don't want to make. I like Beyonce. I like her music. She got some bangers out there, so I'm not making this indictment on her. But could it be just the case? And I'm just playing devil's advocate with this. Is that, and I've heard this argument, is that she has I feel like it's an extreme talent where you can be a singer, but you have an extreme talent to make hit songs, and she has this ability to make hit songs. But does that equal a great album? She may have banger songs, but collectively, does that make an album, a great album?
How many banger songs does it take to make a great album is the question.
You beat me to it. I was just about to say.
Because if you got 5 singles on the album of 17 tracks, that's a fucking hit album.
Yeah.
If you got 5 number 1 hit songs on the album, that's a hit fucking album.
Well, then based on that, then she's had it, because she has more than 5 bangers on pretty much everything she's ever done. You got at least 5 songs or more that are like that.
So here's the problem.
Zeno's like you don't know about that, Zeno. Like,
I don't know about that.
But here's the problem. When you're great at something, oftentimes, and it's to your detriment, that you're graded against yourself. So like if we're grading Beyonce off of whatever album, which had like 10 hit songs on it, but she only got 5 on this album, then it's a drop off. And that's the problem when you're being great for so long. It is a drop off. If you have 10 hit songs on one album, right, your sophomore album or your freshman album, everything else is going to be graded to your greatest work. And if your greatest work is so great that it makes everything else look like it's pale in comparison, then people are going to naturally look at it and say, well, she's been dropping off consistently. Well, really, she's just a great motherfucker. And nobody has seen, I've said this before, when you see greatness, you confuse it with just apathy and people just giving you something because they think you're great. But no, it's not that. You just never seen this type of greatness before in your life. Like the Patriots, we hadn't seen that type of greatness sustained over fucking decades in our lifetimes. And so people kind of took it for granted. People were taking for granted the Kansas City Chiefs. The people taking for granted Beyonce. And this is from the number one Beyonce hater.
Well, let me ask you this. So Caral J, you said, oh, look at her face. You already just.
I'm sorry, baby. You got to look at some previous episodes. Me and Beyonce got a real tortured past.
Back to 99.
We got beef going back decades.
Since you are a fan, you just admitted that. What was your true feelings about Renaissance? Just coming from a true fan, and again, just your opinion about how you felt about it.
Okay, so that Lemonade homecoming tour type lover of Beyonce, and this was for my, how can I say this? This was house music. This was for my flamboyant people, right?
Mm-hmm. Say it. Okay,
so this is for my gay individuals.
Yeah, come on.
You can go ahead and say it. We believe you. We know. We heard it.
And it gave me a few bangers, but it wasn't something like, okay, yeah, let me do this for my man listening to this Beyonce album.
It felt very voguish.
Voguish, yeah. I wanted to. Oh, and you know what? Yes, I model. So yes, I would hit the moves when I was listening to Beyonce, but not with
it was a gimmick. It's a gimmick.
It
was pre-game. You in the mirror getting dressed.
Yes.
But it wasn't when you got to the club.
Right. It wasn't.
Debo, I feel like gimmicky is harsh on that. I think it was experimental when it comes to Beyonce because it's definitely not along the lines of her normal music.
Well, she did. Oh, I'm sorry, Zino. My bad. I was gonna say you're on the right track because at her concerts there are a lot of gay men.
Yeah.
They stand for Beyonce. So
I know they didn't came for me in the comments tons of times. I know.
And they'll be back again, it seems.
Right. Like she made that for them because she could see that they were voguing, they were doing all the moves for it and the dances. So I think she was doing it to cater more towards them this go round.
Yeah.
Instead of like, yes, my girls, you girls are independent, we're feminists, fuck these niggas, but we love them. Don't tell nobody. You know what I mean?
And I want to make it clear.
I think that's why. Hold on. I think that's why I say gimmicky
of that community. I'm not saying that because it wasn't meant that way. It's just saying musically is what we're talking about.
Right.
Not anything else. Yeah.
But this is why I say gimmicky, and I'm not trying to downplay it because it's a good album. But like when you want to placate to a specific audience, you may do that in a song or two. You don't dedicate the whole album to that.
Well, see, I disagree because I feel like this is the kind of thing that we praise like actors for, right? Showing range, showing that you're not always playing the same, character all the time. And I feel like this is like, hey, I can do dance hall, whatever. Not dance hall, sorry, that's Jamaican, but like dance music, which is funny enough. About a week or two prior to that, Drake tried to do the same thing with Honestly Nevermind, and that was that was a flop. So I thought she did. I even wrote it. I think I wrote it on Facebook. Beyonce just did what Drake was trying to do better than Drake, because it came out like a week apart or like 2 weeks apart. It's not my favorite album, not by a long stretch, but I think I applaud the attempt to even try it. Yeah, so give something to the fan base.
I mean, I can agree with you. We do applaud actors for getting out of their shell. But I feel like this is different because this is music. And personally, I just watched half of the city of Atlanta, probably 2/3 of the city of Atlanta, kill Andre 3000 for coming out with that Flute album.
Not too much of the Flute album.
And he was doing the same thing, but people wanted more of the same. And I feel like this can also apply to Beyonce. I'm not saying that I think she was much more successful in her attempt at it than 3 Stacks, because my God, the Flute album, Jesus Christ.
But the Flute album was after over a decade of not having anything.
Yeah,
So
and that's
like,
the thing. That's over a decade of not having anything. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Debo had made that point. Like,
come back with
don't let that
Flutes.
be. Yeah, don't let that be your first time, dipping your toe in the water for a solo, and you don't do what people have been wanting you to do for years,
For 10 years, goddamn it.
for more than a decade. So and the reason why I was asking that is because it's not because I wanted to necessarily be right or wrong in a discussion or anything like that. It was just saying, am I looking at it the wrong way? Was I looking at what Jay-Z was saying from a standpoint of what you're saying has relevance to it, because not only because of who you are, but what you're saying is true, that Black artists are getting constantly disrespected? Or is the timing wrong because you're like, dang, my wife has been doing all this great stuff, but dang, you pick, like, why can't you talk about this 4 or 5 years ago before Renaissance when it was just okay? Some people will disagree with that and say, you're crazy, this is great, but it doesn't stack up to the other stuff that she's done in that manner.
Let me answer your question by posing a question to you. Are you married?
Yeah.
Nigga, you married?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you gonna hold your wife down in right or wrong?
Yes.
So then that's the end of the fucking question. That's the end of the fucking statement. He's holding his wife down, regardless of time. It don't fucking matter. He holding his wife down.
Oh, Debo. You know who holding their wife down? Goddamn Monique husband, nigga. That's who holding their wife down.
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's who holding their wife down, nigga.
You started some shit. I ain't touching.
You are now listening to the radio show ATL.
Why is Rakim top 15? Who the hell's vouching for that dude? Did I miss something?
Who the fuck is Rakim? You mean Rakim? Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
No, Ezra called him right the first time. His nigga name is Rakim. Because he is too high. He need to be sent down below.
Yeah. Hey, Kendrick Lamar at 2 is
It's some bullshit.
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
All right, so we're back. All right, Chris had to bounce. We're gonna have the information for On the Go Podcast in the podcast description. Make sure and check them out. They are the Sports Authority. They all off into it on all sports. Totally educated with that. But with that being said, my brother is not here, but I'm going to steal his segment. One gotta go this week. I'm gonna take control of it because I'm doing it. Who's gonna tell me I can't? So I am.
I mean, I was gonna do it if you didn't want me to. I got one lined up. Been had one lined up for a minute, nigga.
Oh, you do? Well, you know what, Debo? I'm gonna concede. I had one, but no. If you've been holding on for a second, please.
Hell yeah, I got you one, and it's actually not even one gotta go. It's one gotta stay. So you can only pick one, and it's action stars. You can only pick one action star to save you and save your life in a fight. Who you gonna pick? And it's not actual stars, it's actual like characters from like movies.
All right, yeah, I'm with it.
All right, so we got this. You can only pick one movie character to save your life in a fight. The other 3 gonna try to come and kill you. Okay. So the movie characters that you can pick from is Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible, so Tom Cruise's character. Okay. John Wick, which is Keanu Reeves' character from John Wick. Gerard Butler's character from Olympus Down. So he's the guy who saved the president from the, in the White House. And he had like 3 movies. He was pretty damn badass. Okay.
All right.
And then the last one is, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me get it back up. The last one is Jason Bourne. So Matt Damon's character. So you can either pick Jason Bourne, Gerard Butler's character from White House Down, John Wick, or Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Zino, you muted, bro.
Real quick, Debo, you said you have to pick one, and the other 3 are going to kill you?
You got to pick one to protect you. The other 3 are going to try to kill you.
Okay, John Wick.
I was about to say it.
John Wick? I feel you. Bobby Yaga, I feel you.
I'm with him. John Wick, me, and that damn dog Daisy. He gonna protect us.
Man, you know, Debo, I'm gonna go with Ethan Hunt, man.
Because Ethan Hunt is that nigga, dog.
If you seen that last Mission Impossible, which was absolutely amazing, that movie is so good. If you haven't seen it, it's streaming on Paramount Plus right now. It's so good, it's unbelievable. But he will keep you safe, I feel like. So he'd be my choice, man.
Absolutely. I feel like.
Can I make a comment?
For me, yes, please.
Sorry, I was just gonna say to counter that. Ethan Hunt is really good if you need someone to jump, like a long, like scale a building or something.
To do a crazy stunt, right.
But saving people is usually like avenging something. Like, so got killed, or someone got his whole team got axed in the first movie. So like, I don't know. He's not really saving people.
So I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. He definitely, his whole team got killed, but I feel like he didn't have a longevity because he got like 10 movies at this point, which is more than everybody else's movies, I think, almost combined. So like the longevity Ethan Hunt in every mission after mission, I feel like he done seen it all. However, to me, it boils down to Baba Yaga, John Wick, and Jason Bourne. And if I'm gonna have to pick one, as much as I love John Wick, I'm gonna have to go with Jason Bourne because Jason Bourne is still alive, right? John Wick died, right?
Spoiler alert, Jesus! Spoiler alert!
Listen, time out. This is a 3-year-old movie. We don't know John Wick dead. Then what the fuck we doing here?
Debo, you would be surprised with the shit that will come from people who like, God damn it, I was just getting ready to watch that.
I don't care because you should have seen the movie. If you can't tell you're a fan of John Wick, you ain't seen John Wick 4. That's crazy. But I feel you.
Kara, you hadn't seen it yet?
No, hell no.
You ain't seen John Wick 4?
So he did.
I mean, it's implied. I don't know if he did or not. It's implied. They got the new show out. I ain't seen the new show, but I'm sorry for spoiling you.
The show is a prequel.
See, there we go. But I mean, I'm gonna pick Jason Bourne because I feel like their skill sets are similar.
Yeah.
But Jason Bourne is a spy, so he can get away with this shit and
This is why you and Debo are best buddies, because she be spoiling shit all the time with no.
Time out. You spoiler period is over. How long is the spoiler period? A year? 2 years? That movie came out in 2021.
You gotta warn people just in case they haven't seen it.
If it's the latest movie in the franchise, you have to say spoiler alerts.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Spoiler alert! Put it on the screen now. Spoiler alert! John Wick is dead. I don't know.
Hear it now because
you can't unhear it. Have you seen it 16?
No, I haven't. Debo completely spoiled the last James Bond movie. Didn't even warm up. Didn't even try. Just
how long ago was it that it had aired? Because
it was still in the theater when she spoiled it.
But John Wick 4 is not in the theater. As a matter of fact, it's on like on demand. Like you could go rent that thing from Netflix.
It was on Peacock. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Please continue your point, because poor Carol, she looked like she wanted to just cry.
Why are you the way you are?
You got to blame my mom on that one. She wasn't good. She wasn't right. I blame her and my daddy for that matter, because he ain't shit neither. But they both ain't shit, and they made an ain't shit nigga. But I have to go with Jason Bourne just because I feel like Jason Bourne is more of a spy level assassin type nigga that can get away with shit. Even though John Wick is an assassin too, I feel like he is in an assassin world where it's okay to just murder and just get away with it. And Jason Bourne is doing that shit on the secret tip. And I feel like he's going to be able to protect me without being seen more than John Wick. And if I have to pick one of them to protect me, I'm going to pick Jason Bourne.
Yeah, maybe. You see, if it was just a protection job, I would agree with you. But the moment you said they have to defend you against the other three,
they do got to defend. And John Wick has defended more. You're right though, and you might change your mind because John Wick does defend against multiple motherfuckers. We have seen that shit.
Yeah, but if it's straight up just protection job, yeah, maybe Bourne. I could see that.
Debo, how long you been holding on to this one, man?
I got a couple of them, bro. Me and your brother been talking about them. I got a couple of them for you. Man, just on the nights that he ain't come around, Easy, I don't know where you at tonight, but just in case.
Yeah, I don't know how much we never really talk about like, hey man, I'm probably gonna take your segment from you. He might not like it, but hey,
it's Debo's segment tonight, baby.
There it is.
Debo's one gotta go, baby. You just mark the screen out. Take out Easy, put Debo in.
Debo on there. I might just do that just for laughs. He's not gonna like that
at all.
And that's more of a reason to do it.
And I'm equally pissed off people just like him because I'm spoiling shit.
Absolutely, because I'm gonna tell you right now, because if you ever meet Lady CJ, it's on site because she is not happy. It's on site.
I'm sorry. I think Beyonce is a great artist. I can't lie. I don't.
On my stepdaddy. See, you just.
I'm sorry.
I can't.
I'll make it up some other way. I'm sorry.
It's on site. It's on site. But I tell you what, is not on site. He's not on site right now, but that was his one gotta go segment that Debo took over, doing a great job.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
Why are you gonna make me cry? You gonna make me cry?
I mean, we all light skin on here. We can't help it.
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
All right, so we're gonna have to rename this segment the ATL Diva Random segment because it's what she does, even though she's not here. Diva, I love you. I know you're gonna see this and be like, what did I do to catch these strays? It's all love between us most of the time. But it's time for random. Everybody's here. They know how it goes. It's whatever's on your chest that you want to get off. It could be something profound. It could be a rant. It could be anything that you feel like you need to express. You can take the show wherever you want to go. And it's an important segment because it allows for fiery rant sometimes. But I want to go to my man, Zino. Zino is usually having the randoms that are nuanced and they have, thought behind them and everything. Or maybe today might be the day that Zino goes straight ratchet. Who knows? But Zino, man, what you got on your mind?
No, I'll save my ratchet for election day.
All right.
So before I go into my thing, just quick shout out to the Super Eagles. That's the Nigerian soccer team. They're in the finals of the African Cup of Nations this Sunday. So shout out to them. My thing, my rant is about the Facebook post I had today, and it's this word rhino, right? So it's an acronym for Republican in name only. They throw it around a lot. I think it came from like the George Bush days, and I think they used it to target John McCain because he was very used to like voting all sorts of ways. That's why he got the name Maverick.
Fox News, I think, was the first ones to say rhino. Fox. Yeah,
Fox
right.
News. Yeah. So now it's used solely for you're against Trump or you don't do what the MAGA king wants you to do, therefore you're a rhino. The latest person who was brandished for that was Senator James Lankford from Oklahoma. He's a Republican, and the reason is he had worked on this border bill, right? Because there's been high numbers of border crossings. He had worked on this border bill with Democrats, and it's like the most conservative bill regarding the border in like decades. And it had
It's a good bill. It's a good bill too.
Yeah, and it had bipartisan support. It was going to go through, and then Trump was like, "You got to kill this bill because the whole idea is like, I'm running for election this year. I don't want to give Joe Biden a win. Kill this bill." So then you have his lackeys in the House coming on news like Nancy Mace and Mike Johnson and all these. You're talking about, oh, it's a terrible bill, and Langford, rightfully so, was like, "You guys haven't read the bill. It's 370 whatever pages. We haven't sent it to you. How do you know it's a bad bill?" So then he starts getting named a rhino and this. And I've seen comment sections on like YouTube and Twitter and all that stuff. So it's pretty bad, but that's the state of where we are now. You can't, if you try to legislate, that's no longer allowed in today's Republican Party. So rhino, that's my rant.
No, and it's funny because I was going to talk about that same shit. And I'm glad you brought it up because, it's kind of funny to me that no matter if a Democrat is completely conservative and agrees with a Republican, they're going to say that the Democrat is wrong purely just because it serves a narrative. It's mind-boggling that if you actually read the bill has like a rule that if the migrants come over the border in a total of 5,000 over in a day, that the border is completely shut down for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's very conservative, and they still won't co-sign on that shit. That's kind of crazy to me.
That's what they've been asking for. That's what they've been asking for.
It's what they want. They wanted so many millions devoted to funding like border protection and getting more agents down there and doing safety checks, and they still won't sign. And it's purely just because Donald Trump is your daddy.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy to me.
Once upon a time, right? It used to be like, oh, I'm a Republican because of this, or I'm a Democrat because of this. Like you have disagreements on like policy issues, on whether to have big government or small government, on whether to tax the rich or tax the poor, whatever. Now you're not just the enemy, but you're almost evil if you're the other side. So to them, it's like, oh, if the Democrats like this, then it must be bad, because they are the devil. So I definitely can't vote for this. So that's where we are now. It's sad that it just shows that divide, and the fact that we actually pay these people to legislate is ridiculous. So anyway, that's my thing.
All right. So I want to hear from my homegirl, Lady CJ, who, listen, she don't get enough credit for it when she on here. She known to have a rant or two in her, in her wheelhouse or whatever. So, Carol, what's on your mind?
It's a lot. It's a lot on my mind, but I'm gonna keep it classy and cute today. So, what was on my mind was the Super Bowl. And, I know this is weird, but so many thoughts are going through my head with Taylor Swift, Usher, even President Biden. If he comes to the Super Bowl, should he speak? Should he do something? Should Kamala talk? It's so many thoughts. Which way did you want me to go first?
This is right. You can do whatever. You can take it wherever you want to.
Okay,
it's up to you.
So it is that season. It's about to voting is coming upon us. Is it really worth it for Biden to go to the Super Bowl? Should he talk to the people? Should he talk to the? Yeah, go ahead.
Should he go to the Super Bowl like physically? No. But should he do the annual thing where they have the interview with the president or whatever? Yes, because you don't want to act like someone's different. keep up appearances.
Should he be the one talking though? Because I mean,
why not?
I feel like Kamala has a little more sense at this moment.
I feel like the whole he's old and senile thing is overblown. Trump literally was trying to talk about Nikki Haley, and he kept calling Nancy Pelosi Nikki Haley. Or there was another thing he said earlier. The point is, yes, they're both septuagenarians, and Biden, I think is he closing on 80, maybe even over. So they're both old AF. But at the end of the day, he's president. He's running for president. If you're like, do the interview, but Kamala should do it, then he really shouldn't be running for president.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, he has to be able to go out there and still do those interviews. So on the Biden thing, no, don't go to Vegas, but yes, do the interview.
Okay. Well, all right, since we're talking about Vegas as well, this should be a big old showcase for Usher, but I'm tired of hearing about Taylor Swift. I'm not a Taylor Swift hater, but I feel like just because she talks to or she's dating that football player, everyone's making a big deal, because I believe it was on Club Shay Shay. He said that Taylor Swift was this big deal even compared to Beyonce. But I think like this is Usher's time to shine. I really don't think that we need to, we don't really need to showcase Taylor as much. What do y'all think?
She's a cash cow. The NFL gonna do it because she's a cash cow. People, the numbers don't lie. More people are tuning in to the games that she's attending to because they want to catch a glimpse of her. That's just why they show her 15 times during the telecast. So
that's why the camera pans there.
Yeah, it's gonna show her cheering on Travis Kelce or boo or whatever. Her dancing, they gonna show all of that because she moves the needle. She is the white person. She's the white version of Beyonce for white women. Like legit, that's her. Yeah. That's their thing. They love her.
Have you guys seen that dance that she created? I think it's called the swag surf.
Yeah. If you go. And you look at a previous episode that's out there. We spoke at length about Go back and watch or listen to that episode.
Yeah, we just talked about that.
Yeah, we had just talked about that. Please go in the archives and check that out if you haven't. We had some interesting commentary on this new craze called swag surfing that's 15 years old. All right.
I do want to say, I think some of the hate that's been levied her way is a bit extreme. I know that's not what you're doing. I'm just saying some people are a bit extreme about it. It's the NFL. CBS is like, let's always pan the camera her way. I think there's enough celebrities at the Super Bowl that I'm hoping they will pan cameras to other people that are there. That here's I don't know who would be there. Ludacris. Here's another person. But I have no doubt Usher's gonna kill it, and the 15 minutes it's gonna be squarely on him. I really hope they're not like, Usher's doing well. Let's see what Taylor Swift thinks about Usher's performance. Yeah, no, it's
if
gonna
they
be
pan to Taylor Swift while Usher is dancing, black people gonna riot. I swear to you.
I'm sure that there's gonna be a rock bet on that if they're gonna pan the camera to see her pretending like she knows all the Usher songs. Why they try to pan to her or whatever.
Exactly. But Lady CJ, it's not that football player. It's Travis Kelce.
I know.
He's the #1 tight end and has been for like the last 5 years.
She's so not interested. You see, she is unbothered.
The shade is so real, boy. I feel
so
it.
real.
Wait. No shade. No shade.
I went to dinner with my dad sometime last year, like early when they started like dating. And my dad was like, you've been hearing about this guy that Taylor Swift's dating? I'm guessing he's like famous now. I'm like, Dad, he literally went in the first round in every fantasy football draft as a tight end.
He's a Hall of Famer He's a Hall of Famer right now. If he walked,
he's gonna be a Hall of Famer regardless. Yeah, exactly. Travis Kelce is legit, even without the Taylor Swift thing.
You know, he looks like a Georgia State trooper with that haircut. I don't know that man.
Yeah, you should watch his SNL.
But I got you.
Listen, black women love Travis Kelce. You know, he dated several black women, badass black women, and they love Travis Kelce. They love that little white chocolate man. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, he's got swag. He's got more swag than Patrick Mahomes.
Big facts. Big facts.
Mahomes Senior's illegitimate son.
So oh my God. So check this out. This segment could have went many different ways as far as what I was going to, but it kind of maybe centers around it, but I want to take it into, so this is February, it's Black History Month. It's polarizing any way you want to say it. You know, it's Black History Month. They give us the shortest month of the year. What does it really mean? What do we focus on? All this stuff. I wanted to bring up the fact that no matter what happens nowadays, when you have an argument about something that has to do with race, or you have something, you ever notice how much white people cling to MLK? They bring him up about everything. They talk about his works with everything. And then I thought about something, the way they bring up and Martin Luther King is somebody who is well respected throughout the world, not just in the black community. He's a real well respected figure throughout the world. But if he existed today, the same white people that hold him up, oh my God, the flamethrower they would take to this man on Fox News, if he existed today, they hold him up like this now because he's dead. It's easier to do it because he ain't here no more. But if that man was alive today doing the stuff that he was doing then, he would be vilified. They would be ripping him. Tucker Carlson would be talking shit about MLK all day, but it's cool to hold him up now because he's not here. He doesn't have a voice. Same thing with when like Muhammad Ali was alive. He didn't become the figure that he became until he lost his ability to talk. Then everybody was cool with calling him the greatest. But when he was able to talk, it's like, oh man, he out of pocket, man. Get this guy out of here with all his race talk and all that stuff. So I'm just saying, I just feel like, white people do a lot of holding up at MLK, but they would be crucifying that man if he were alive today. Fox News would light him up if he were here today. I might be off base, but I don't think I'm off base. They light him up.
I want to agree with you, and I do agree with you for the most part. But I feel like they don't hold Malcolm up, and because they don't hold Malcolm up, I feel like maybe they might still hold up MLK. I don't know. I don't know. You can't say.
MLK is safer. Malcolm wasn't with the shit. He wasn't with that shit at all.
He wasn't with the shit. That's the point.
So that's the difference. He's safe, and that's what I'm getting at, is that it's safe to go to that point. Because I hear people say this stuff. Oh, the country doesn't have a skin problem. We have a sin problem. Bullshit. It is a skin problem, big time, still to this day. So they still hold him up like that. I'm just saying.
Couple of things. I do think I think Malcolm X is held in higher esteem than when he was alive, for sure, but definitely not in the same esteem as MLK. To your point, you're so right about MLK is held in disregard now that he can't, continue speaking out against injustice and all that stuff, because you see that light-skinned dude from Grey's Anatomy, Jesse Williams. Yep. Yeah, I mean, he goes and he speechifies. He's really good about it. And they're like, oh, he's they're always complaining. It's like they're always trying to police how to complain about stuff. They want to say, I don't want to stop you from complaining about being oppressed. I just think you should complain in this way. I was like, no, you don't get to police how we express what's wrong with us.
It's facts.
Yeah, but and then I also want to say it's really great that you use the word crucify, that they would crucify him, because honestly, if Jesus was alive today, they would crucify him.
Because here's some breaking news for our counterparts, is that Jesus looked like a foreigner that you probably were hoping was on some type of banned Muslim list. He's not blonde hair with blue eyes. He probably looks more like Mohammed than Jason or Johnny or whatever he looks like. But they wouldn't get that man the time of day if he stopped at his door, because he looked too foreign. What they say on the Boondocks, he looked of terrorist descent. So no, they would not they would not give him any props on that. They would.
Yeah. And Jesus is the kind of person who say, "Oh, welcome the refugees." You know, give money to the poor. Don't give money to the rich. Don't do taxes to the rich. Jesus would be a socialist. You know, so
and we all know how they feel about that. So I just felt like it needed to be out there because I just see the same figures getting thrown out there all the time, and it's like, but are you really understanding what the cause was? I just felt like that needed to be said because I see that propped up all the time, and it just gets old because they're gonna do the same thing with Colin Kaepernick 30 years from now. They'll be like, this is what he got for it. It's like, man, that man was banned from the game forever. So miss me with that shit. Is basically what I'm saying. Miss me with that shit.
Yeah, I still want to like take a knee at like Hawks games during the national anthem just because, just to see what the response would be. I haven't done it yet, but I want to.
Hey, listen, we ever there together, Zino, I'll be there with you, man. It might be rough getting to the car, but we could try it.
I'm with it. And I'm with all the smoke. So I guess it's my turn, and this is probably the most constructive, like educational, rant segment that we done ever had.
It's woke.
And I'm about to niggify this shit for you because last week I talked about these restaurants having these fucked up hours in regards to when they service people. Like you're open from noon to 3, and then you shut down from 3 to 4:45, and then you open up from 4:45 to 8. Okay, so I went back to the same restaurant. Went back when they were open because, and I'm gonna shout them out because the food was phenomenal. I'm not gonna sit here and say the food wasn't good, but the fucking service was ass, bro. I went to this truck called Craven Caribbean up here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And first off, I'm too old to order food now. And it's relevant because they are in a food hall. Do you know what a food hall is? Food hall is when they have a bunch of different restaurants, right? Except for this really ain't a food hall. This is more so like a hole in the wall because you walk into this, they're part of like a bunch, like a multi-food hall, but it's just one room. And the room has 4 screens on the wall with 4 or 5 different restaurants that you can choose from. I'm talking about not just screens on the wall. They just basically iPads plastered into the fucking wall with each restaurant that you got to pick the food from. Then you got to scan on your app to try to fucking, you got to go on the app to scan them to let you know that you're there for the food and you're ready to order. Then you got to wait for some big dude to come through the fucking door and yell your name to get your food. The worst fucking experience I ever had in my fucking life. Because first off, they don't provide instructions on their goddamn website. What the fuck are we doing? Are we so technology based that, oh, everything is through the app? What happened to just calling in the fucking order and going to pick it up at a fucking place? A food truck. Y'all got to do a fucking a mass kitchen where there's 6 different fucking restaurants in this one fucking kitchen, and y'all coming to the door like fucking crack. Like I'm getting crack. I felt like I was doing a drug deal, buying some fucking food, bro.
You feel like you was in the episode of felt like he was in the episode of The Wire.
Nigga, I swear to God, I thought I was out there fucking on the corner with my fucking what's his name, D'Angelo and fucking Poof and all of them niggas, bro. I was out there in a hole in the wall, bro. I got pictures. I'm sending in the fucking group chat. I got fucking pictures of just a bunch of folks just standing around waiting on somebody to call their name to get their food. It's fucking crazy. It was dark. There was no fucking lights. I could have got mugged or shot or anything, nigga. It's fucking crazy. Food people, y'all got to do better. Okay? Do better. I know you out here trying to get it, but goddamn, that's crazy. If you're going to be in a place like that, fucking put instructions on the website. Listen, y'all finna come into a hole in the wall. So when you get there, you're going to have to scan on the fucking picture on the wall to let me know that you're here. Then I'm going to come out and yell your name at the top of my fucking lungs so that you can come get your food. It's the most ignorant shit I ever seen in my life. And you know what? I realized all these young folks, and I'm old now, apparently, all these young folks, they was okay with it. They used to it. They this is how they want to eat. They want to go to a place that don't have a fucking rating of if they, like, you know how you can go to a restaurant and see the rating from the food inspector? It ain't no rating on the door because it's just a hole in the wall, bro.
So you don't know whether or not you was eating a 77 or a 92?
I don't know what I was eating, if it was an A, B, C, D, or F, nigga.
Oh shit.
The nigga just bought me food in a plastic bag, nigga.
So clearly, this is something that has irked your soul because this is 2 weeks in a row that you've been an unhinged, crazy person.
Because
about it.
I'm
So it must
okay
be
with
serious.
food trucks and I'm okay with a restaurant. I'm okay if you got a trailer you serving food out of. At least I can see you. But when you behind a closed fucking door and I can't see shit and there's no fucking branding nowhere, it's just iPads stuck on the fucking wall. That's crazy to me. And apparently that's a normal thing, not just in Charlotte, but in Atlanta too, and in motherfucking Birmingham, and in fucking Tampa. All these fucking cities have the same type of setup. Where do we go wrong at, people?
I got hey, next time you go pick up something, just go ahead and put your alias. Just put Keith Lee. And
put Keith Lee.
Keith Lee. That's it.
Maybe that's
Debo,
it. Maybe that's what I gotta do.
I think I could put the stamp on this segment right here that is random. Is that you sound like an old ass man right now, and that's coming from me.
I don't give a fuck. That shit is the craziest shit that I ever seen in my fucking life. You wouldn't eat food from a nigga handing you food from behind a closed door that you don't even know. Then the nigga had an accent, so you couldn't understand what he was fucking saying. Debo? My name ain't Debo, bitch.
You sound like a boomer.
Yo, you call me what you want, motherfucker. You ain't eating no food out no motherfucking handicapped ass kitchen where nobody can see nothing. I can't wait to see these pictures. You can be like, yeah, I would. You gonna nope. I'm gonna send you the fucking pictures.
Debo ranting. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Carol.
Flag on the play. You ate this food and you didn't see them prepare this food, sir?
Oh no, I definitely ate the fuck out of that shit because I paid top dollar for that shit.
Oh my god. Are you
It was good too. It was good too. Niggas, it was oxtail ramen, which was delicious. Of course it was oxtail.
What a Jamaican or
it was a Jamaican spot. It was a Jamaican spot. Yeah.
That's it.
It was Jamaican spot. Of course, I was gonna support the black owned business. It was oxtail pasta, and then my baby mama had jerk chicken with rice and plantains.
Caribbean
Rant extraordinaire from Debo. Rant over. Segment over.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
They are really good.
They are like the sexiest vegetables. They're so good.
Well, I don't want sexy. I want it to taste good.
You're older than all of us. You should learn to like sexy vegetables. You're gonna need them. Your joints need them.
Yes,
I'm good.
You don't want to pull a muscle tying up your shoe 16. I mean, it happens for me in your age. I'm just saying.
Your age.
You're listening to the radio show on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
All right. Another grand episode is in the books here. Bring a friend night. Now, Debo, you've been here basically every week for the last, 6 months. So folks should know where to find you by now. Your information for my black friend will be in the podcast description. You make sure and show him some love. All right. But Zino and Lady CJ, even though they are friends of the show, they're not here as often as we'd like them to be, but we definitely want to shine light on them. Zino, man, you and Zeus, man, ZZ Talk Podcast. Any status updates on what's going on, when we can expect some content? Let us know what's going on, man.
I don't know if you can expect some content. It's one of those archive shows at this point. It's out there. You can go check it out, ZZ Talk on YouTube or the ZZ Talk Podcast on Spotify. But if we ever do, it might be like a twice a year thing, just because Zeus and I like to talk about stuff. Yeah, but as far as new content, I can't commit to anything right now.
Well, one thing I can say that we did talk about off air is that you will be joining us pretty regularly here, as well. When you got time, you'll be part of the show as well. So it's going to be good to have you on a more regular basis. So the information for ZZ Talk will be in the podcast description. It's also on the screen if you want to see that as well, if you're watching on YouTube. Now we're going to swing it over because we always got to have some black girl magic around here. It's too many dudes, and we always got to have some black girl magic. And we brought the black girl magic from my homegirl, Lady CJ, one of our favorites around here. What you got going on? We don't have you around here enough. What we got?
Well, I'm rebranding. I am trying to come back out with my podcast because, as you know, I am a teacher. And all my students found me, unfortunately. So I had to switch up my social media a little bit. So I'm on the, for the next couple of weeks, I'm trying to rebrand, kind of relaunch, because I miss podcasting. You know this.
Yes.
So, but I'm still on the typical Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I do have some shows on, episodes on the, Apple, Spotify.
Yep.
Anchor. Well, Anchor is Spotify.
Yep.
Things have changed,
Yep.
but I'm hoping to get back into it because I miss it, and I feel like my voice.
No, it's true. And also, if you want to hear some more of Lady CJ, aka Caral J, she's been on several episodes of the show with us as well, doing Bring a Friend Night and interviewing people on the Aftermath. So you can catch her here all the time. And I mean, you already know this. Anytime you want to, the door is wide open. But y'all both know this. Everybody who's on here knows that. This door is wide open for everybody who's a friend of the show. Now, speaking of the show, the radio show ATL, if you want to be a guest on the radio show ATL, just send us an email to radioshowinbox@gmail.com, or you can send us a text 678-800-1677. And Debo, I'm gonna do what you be telling me, man. I'm also gonna brag about this stuff because we are top 200 Apple Podcasts, still charting right now to this day. So definitely appreciate the love that we're getting on that one. And everybody who's on this panel right now has had a hand and helped building that part of it. So I just want to say much love and thank you to Zino, Lady CJ, Big Debo, man. Appreciate y'all. All right. And you know what? I'm gonna see if Zino, man, can you remember how I ended off the show? I want to see if you can do it. Debo just stole it from him before. Can you think you got it? Let's see if you can do it.
It's not just a radio show, it's the radio show. Is that correct?
Close enough.
How does it go? Tell us.
All right. Debo go steal it. Go for it.
I got you. It's not just, you're not listening to a radio show or some radio show. It's the radio show, ATL. Because I'm from Atlanta, nigga. I can say that shit. I'm from Atlanta, baby.
There we go. All right. Because remember, every like and subscribe gets us another like and subscribe. So like and subscribe. All right. We appreciate y'all for listening and watching, and we will catch y'all next time. All right. So we cut it from right there. That's some good shit. That was good.
I can't believe you people haven't seen John Wick. That's wild. It's been 2 years.
Right now.
Just go watch the movie. You'll be fine. I promise you. It's a great movie.
I'm telling you, this is why you and Diva get along. She said the same thing. She was like, well, just pretend I didn't hear it. I told her, I was like, I can't unsee it. Like I was holding off. It was about to come to Paramount Plus the following week. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to watch. I love them Bond movies. And she just took a flamethrower to it. Like it wasn't.
So, okay, there's a difference between me and Diva. Okay, when it's about to come to Paramount Plus, that's about a 7-8 week period after.
There are some differences. First of all, she's a lot better looking. Let's get that out there.
I can't deny that. You're right.